to hear what we have to learn today. So today we'll be talking about the difference between bipolar 1 and 2 disorders. Hang on, before I continue, I would like to encourage you to like this video if you feel that the content was helpful to you. Subscribe and please leave a comment below so I can know what other materials you would like to have us share on the channel. This can be used for any exam, either the Marriage and Family Therapy exam or the NCE or the NCMHCE. I think it's going to be helpful to social workers as well. So just before we go on, I just want to remind you that you are not expected to have the whole DSM-5 committed to memory. The DSM is just a reference book, okay? That being said, there are certain disorders that they expect that we at least know or have at our fingertips. And so I'm gonna be referencing the DSM-5 today. Like I said earlier, you're not expected to know everything. So I'm gonna be looking at my DSM-5 to give you some of these tidbits, but there are certain things that I use, certain criteria that I use to help me remember some of these differences so that, I would remember them, I would have them at my fingertips for the exam. Are you ready? All right, here we go. So just look at it this way. We have bipolar 1 and we have bipolar 2. Bipolar 1, elder brother, right? That's the first child. Bipolar 2, younger brother, that's the second child. The major difference is that bipolar 1 has mania. Okay, there's manic episodes associated with bipolar 1. That's the elder brother. And bipolar 2, hypomania. Okay, so think about it. There's a difference between hyper and hypo. Hyper is the happy-go-lucky kid, hyperactive, right? Hypo is like the smaller one. So think about it this way. The elder brother has the full-blown mania. The younger brother has the hypomania, the small mania. It's like you're trying to be bad, but you can't be that bad. You're just a small brother, okay? So that's the key thing, all right? I'm gonna go more in depth and explain a little bit more. Usually in bipolar 1, there may be some hypomania. The mania may be preceded by hypomania or major depressive disorder, right? Some of those symptoms. However, one of the key things is that mania tends to last for 1 full week, and hypomania tends to last for about 4 days. Okay, and I'm going to go over some of those symptoms that are associated with mania. For a manic episode, one of the things you want to see is in the client. One of the things you will see in the client is elevated, increased energy or activity. There's inflated self-esteem or grandiosity. There's a decreased need for sleep. The client is more talkative. There's flight of ideas, easily distracted, poor attention span, excessive involvement in activities that have, a high potential of painful consequences. For instance, you're, just pretty much poor judgment, right? You're doing things that are very risky without really thinking about the consequences. You're just doing it consistently, right? And then there's also an increase in goal-directed activity, either at school, work, or, sexually. So that's the typical classic example of that is the person that rearranges their house. Every time you turn around, they're rearranging the living room or the bedroom, moving furniture around. It's a goal-directed activity, but you're just doing it more often than is typical. Okay, so all of these things are associated with mania. But guess what? They're also associated with hypomania as well, because it's the same set of 7 criteria. However, with the hypomania, it does not happen for that long 1 week period. It just happens for about a period of 4 days. Let me recap. Bipolar 1, bipolar 2. Bipolar 1 is the elder brother with mania. Bipolar 2 is the younger brother with the hypo. Another thing is that with these 7 symptoms that we've talked about for the mania, it's severe enough to cause impairment in social functioning or occupational functioning or even hospitalization. But for hypomania, those things may happen, but they're not that severe. So again, big brother, mania, severe symptoms. Small brother, hypomania, not as severe. Got it? Okay. And for both of them, one key thing is you want to be able to identify is that these symptoms cannot be tied to drugs, or let's say the person is on an antidepressant, or the person is just high, right? I take crack, I'm high, and I'm doing stuff, I can't sleep, I'm just, all over the place. You can't diagnose the person with bipolar, any of the bipolar disorders, because that's not typical. That's just happening because of the mind-altering substances that they've used. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys are able to get this difference. Again, they're not gonna, ask you to list out the symptoms of these diagnoses. However, they want you to understand the key difference. The key difference between bipolar 1 and 2 is mainly the hypomania and the severity of the, of the symptoms. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section and I will be there to answer. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best in your exams and God bless you.